if you're gonna jump into something,
Yeah.
then think
For
about it.
sure, for sure, for sure. It's not all passion and love, right? I mean,
But
you
also,
gotta be
like, you
practical.
gotta mix that with shoot your shot, because a lot of people get
Mm.
scared. A lot of
Right,
people
right.
get afraid. So
Mm-hmm.
that's also actually another big thing that I learned, especially being in the US, which is like, you you know how you guys were alluding to, like, being shy at the start of the workplace when you get into work. It's like ganun rin tayo. It's like that's a culture of the Philippines. You end up
Mm-hmm.
being a little
Yeah.
bit more conservative, a little bit more unwilling to shoot your shot. If you want to get ahead, like, you have to just kapala ng mukha yan.
Yeah.
And that's a mixing your calculated
Yeah,
risk
for
with
sure.
your kapala ng mukha.
Mhm. Yeah. Dude, kapal na mukha. Like, I was, I mean, since I'm here in Toronto as well, it's what I realized. I mean, I don't think Filipinos definitely don't lack any intellectual ability, or no. It's really the kapala na mukha. Like, I noticed a lot of the culture here. People are really not afraid. They're not afraid to sound stupid. And it works out for them because they'll shoot 10 shots. They'll say that they'll give 10 suggestions. You might take 2. But in the Philippines, baka mahiya ka, you just give 5 ganyan, or you give 3, diba? Our favorite 3-point whatever. And yeah, so just everyone keep that in mind. It's a free world out there. People will take your position, you will take your spot, diba? And also, like we said a while ago, I guess, really important that I guess you take initiative. And it's a skill. It's a skill. I think a lot of people, like, they see people in, like, I guess, just my experience working in corporate, like, seeing people talk a certain way, be very firm a certain way. It's very different from college. But it's a skill that we really have to learn and develop. But also be kind to yourselves if you don't get it right away. I mean, I think, yeah, like Curbs Wax, like, how do you guys fare in that regard, like, a year in? Like, do you guys feel like you guys have adjusted? Do you guys feel like you guys are working? Kind of going back to, like, that, what were you talking about? Like, of still feeling like we're in college. Like,
Yeah,
where are you
yeah,
guys on that spectrum?
yeah. Okay, so for me, I guess one of the biggest differences then from work and college is in college you have structure, you have a set schedule, you have set deadlines, you know when a certain paper needs to be done. In work, I said there's no structure whatsoever. Like, you make the structure. So I think that's where, just not being shy or just like setting your own boundaries. That's where it's really important, because things will not happen unless you actually do it in work. Versus in college, where you can just like wait until the deadline and then just do the paper after. Parang that's something that's, well, for me, I'm still adjusting to not having any semblance of structure, and again, just being accountable for everything. Yeah. Like, I'm not sure about you, Wax, but then that lack of structure, now in work, and setting that structure yourself, that's a really, really big change for me.
Yeah, no, definitely the same. Like, I think, like, if you think about it, for maybe, like, the last 20 years of my life, everything's been kind of laid out. Like, what time to eat, what time to go to class, what time to study, what subjects to study for, like how to study for the subjects, right? You have your classmates telling you to do this, or your teachers telling you to do that. So it's just all easy. Like, it's automatic. Like, you can really just focus on the work. But then, yeah, like what you said, now I'm the one making the structure. And because it's so new to me, I kind of don't know what's the right structure yet. Like, am I
Yeah.
managing my time the right way? Because sometimes, like, I still sleep really late because of work, or sometimes, like, I still miss details for reports or for whatever. So it's there's a lot of learning to do, and there's a lot of up and downs also, because you get. I mean, in my case, parang, obviously, like, nobody likes to make mistakes, and it can get really discouraging, especially when you're trying to, like, establish your reputation at work, trying to make a name for yourself, if you will. So whenever those mistakes happen, it kind of, it affects you talaga. And so what one of the things I learned then, and I talked to my friends about this recently, is parang there's a piece of advice na things will take as much space as you give it. So, for example, in the context of work, if if I allow myself to keep thinking about work constantly, like I think like off off the record we were talking about, the typical Sunday night anxiety. Like if I'm allowing myself to keep feeling that, then I'll really just be miserable the whole time. Or the opposite goes for things I'm interested in. Like if I allot more space for, let's say, I don't know, like watching football on weekends, then obviously like that becomes my focus, my life. So more about managing that headspace and like how you allocate it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
because I mean, to some extent, you can kind of control the stress around you to a certain extent. So that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out now.